Do you have a thought on whether MSPs ought to remain dormant in their guidance, or should they proceed forward and just be ready to pivot if and when there's a legislative action?
That's an excellent question, Charles. I think laying dormant is the worst thing you can do. That being said, one of the provisions in our service attachment for managed AI is protection against future regulatory action that impacts your customer so that they can't point the finger at you. As long as the MSP and the customer know that it's the customer's project and the customer's initiative, and if it becomes illegal in the future, that's not on the MSP, then I would encourage the MSP to move forward. And the number one reason I say that, Charles, is the MSP's customers are already using AI. They're using shadow AI. They're using open systems with no supervision, with no configuration guardrails, many times accessing information that they shouldn't be accessing, and in other ways, creating loss of trade secrets, confidential information leaks, and other things that are very detrimental to the MSP's customer. And so by staying dormant, you're acknowledging the fact that your customer is engaging in activity with IT that's dangerous to them. And you're saying, I'm going to sit on the sideline while this is happening. At the very least, you got to go tackle the issue of shadow IT. And when you go to do that, they're going to tell you all the reasons they're using AI. And then you got to go implement a safe way for them to do that. In the end, what I see is the role of the MSP is to wean the customer's employees off of dangerous, open, and inexpensive platforms that are not being very tightly managed. And I'm talking specifically about ChatGPT and Copilot and other open systems that, if left unmanaged, can work harm to your customer. And so I would say it's fine to sit on the sideline if this shadow AI problem wasn't so prevalent in all of your accounts. But the fact that it is so prevalent in your accounts requires you to take action today and to go sit with your customer today and talk them through how it's being used, to give them other alternatives that are safer, that are more secure, and more likely to protect them in the future. And I don't think that any MSP that has a cybersecurity capability is unable to have that conversation with any customer, because their cybersecurity expertise is all they need to have this conversation. And I think a lot of times we say, well, I'm not a prompt engineer. I'm not a data scientist. How many people told me I needed to be a data scientist to build an AI legal assistant? And I didn't need that. But I was determined to build it for my clients because I know they needed it and I know it would help them. And so I think MSPs have the same responsibility to their clients. You know that AI is being used and it's not safe. So as the trusted advisor, you need to bring that to the customer's attention and give them an alternative that's safe.